Okay, witches. So we are in black and white mode, and we're going to try and stay on topic. Okay, so this is part 2, witchy tips on how to deal with bullies. Okay, so why are we in black and white? Well, because we're going to talk a little bit about black and white thinking and how that can affect your interactions with other people. And we're going to talk about your obligations and controlling your sphere of influence, what happens to you. Okay, let's go. So we're going to. So witches. Now, listen to me. Sometimes something that will happen when you stand up for yourself, when you draw a line in the sand, when you create a boundary. Now, a boundary is something that you create yourself, and all it is saying, for example, I am appreciating and grateful for my own energy. I recognize that this is a precious part of me that is valuable to me. And I am choosing that I am not going to allow people to take that energy, my vital life essence, my vitality, my happiness, my joy, my positivity. And we are making a choice to say, I'm going to keep that because it's precious to me and I need it. So I'm going to keep that for myself. And when people bully, they do not recognize boundaries. They don't think you should have a boundary. They feel entitled to take whatever you have because they don't see you as a human being. They don't recognize even themselves as human beings. They're so base. They're not working on their higher chakras. They're not working on their higher sense of self. They are just it's like a light switch. It's either on or off, right? And that's where they're at. And we don't hate on them. We don't need to hate them. But we don't need to tolerate it. We do not need to tolerate that, because when we recognize that what we have is precious, we need to treat it that way. And when people don't recognize that, that's okay. If they can't see it in themselves, that's okay too. That's where they're at. That's their path. We don't need to walk on their path. We are not obligated. One of the most powerful affirmations I have ever had for myself, and I write them on my mirror. I write them on the bathroom mirror in, marker, because you can wash that off if you want to. I would write, I am not obligated. I am not obligated. And that's a very powerful affirmation, because we are not obligated to anyone except ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to take care of our kids and our responsibilities, but that's an extension of ourselves, right? So when someone's an adult and they are expected, they are of an age of accountability, they understand that they need to take care of themselves and that they are responsible for their own happiness or misery, whatever they choose to live in. That is not our responsibility. And we are not obligated to fix them or change them or respond to them or to feed them our energy. We have no obligation to them, because everyone here needs to stand on their own 2 feet. They need to get their own energy. So why is this collective here? So that the seekers that are looking for this, because 2025 is the year of taking your power back. And part of taking your power back is setting a boundary and cutting off all the leaks, okay? If someone's siphoning your energy by bullying you, like, hello, back on the farm, if there was an animal getting through into the granary and stealing all of the grain, you needed to fix that hole, right? That hole needed to be fixed. That needs to be plugged up. So we're identifying when we're dealing with bullies, this is identifying where our energy is being siphoned from us, right? So this is really important. And they are going to, when you do that, there's something called an extinction burst, because the behavior gets worse before it gets better, right? So, because they're going to do what works. And if it's been working and that animal knows that there's grain in that granary, you're going to just have to keep plugging those holes and use deterrents, get a cat or 3, and continue to do so until that animal will change its behavior, because it's going to realize that it's not going to get what it wants by doing that same behavior. And people are the same in that respect. Sometimes they're more complicated, sometimes they're not. But people will do what works. And so if they've been getting energy from you for a long time, they will continue to bully you. And bullying, like I said, is not always overt. The other side of the coin, in a bully's mind especially, and in many people's minds, is either you are the victim or the victor. And there's no in between. When we set boundaries and we take care of our own energy and we disengage from this dynamic, this patriarchal, old school, old world dynamic of victim and victor, we are now the third option. We are now, because it's not a binary. And that's where people get confused. They think it's a binary thing. Either you're the victim or the victor. And if you're not giving me everything I want, or telling me in a way that makes me feel good inside, because I'm not responsible. Sorry, I'm not responsible to make you feel good about yourself. I'm here to teach and share this information. And I do so because when I talk to people, many people in person about these things, they thank me. They're like, yes, thank you for letting me know. And they do so in the comments. And this is why I'm here. I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. You can keep scrolling. That's the nature of this beast. But the point is that we need to create boundaries for ourselves and keep our energy safe. And when we do that, people will take that as a personal rejection, or they'll switch into the victim. Because as they grew up, as they experienced life, and this is the only thing that they see, they've only seen this, it's a perspective shift that has to happen for them, but we are not responsible. And sometimes they will get that perspective shift, and sometimes they won't, because they have so much anger and stress inside that that's the only thing that they can see. But we are not responsible for making them see that. We're responsible for ourselves and keeping our own energy, and then maybe they will see it eventually. But until they're ready to make that change, there's nothing we can do, because we do not control other people. We control ourselves, right? So, and even witchcraft. Witchcraft is not about having control of other people. Witchcraft is about having a control of your own sphere of influence, being aware of the energies happening around you, being aware of the energy leaks, the energy vampires, the people siphoning off your energy, and being able to maneuver and get away from that. But anyway, so the victim and the victor, right? So if you see someone switch from being aggressive to suddenly you're being mean, you're being a bully, because that way they get some kind of reaction out of you. Again, it is to get a reaction out of you. And like I said, they can do it remotely. They can do it online. They can leave a message, and they will get some kind of feeling of, oh yeah, I really got to them. And we can sit and type out messages. And I'm telling you, if you're going to type out messages, you must do so from a state of calmness and objectivity. We cannot let people push us into a reaction. That's actually a form of abuse called reactive abuse. And this is the thing. If you have been in abusive relationships your whole life, what are you going to learn? You're going to learn how to be an abuser, because that's what's being modeled to you. So we can recognize, okay, this person has learned abusive behavior. It's not about me. They're projecting and they're trying to siphon some energy. And like I said, you're not obligated to anyone. You're not here to teach them. You're here to take care of yourself. It looks like I might have to do a part 3, which is I love you. Stay strong. Stay calm.